Where did you send it to, Garrett?
Your regular one.
Don't send it to Niche Nerd from now on.
Oh, my bad. All right.
Yo! It's your boy, Summerslam Stones, Rush Limbaugh, and Garrett. And we are here for your SummerSlam post-extravaganza. And I have some news. This is breaking news. I want everybody to brace themselves. But Drew does not have COVID again.
Oh.
He's apparently a very responsible, loving, caring father and husband, and has some things to handle with his family. And apparently he was like, fuck you guys. I'm going to go be a nice person and have a genuine heart and Cub Scouts and bing, 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 bing. On the Wrestle Fandom after SummerSlam, arguably the second biggest Wrestle Fandom of the year, and you're going to go fucking work at a merit badge? Okay, Uncle Dave. I know what you're doing. Fucking creep. But, I'm sure what merit badge you're working on.
Turned sideways and slammed into a wall.
So do you need to talk about something there, buddy?
That's another merit badge he works on, Todd. No, I don't need to talk about anything because you know what? I'm a grown fucking man. And like any good grown man, I'm going to, and I'm going to quote Deadpool here, push it down or turn it into cancer. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. And
sounds accurate.
Sure. All right. So we have a lot to talk about. And since there's no Drew here, and it's not like last week where he tricked me and actually had done the Raw Rundown. There is no Raw Rundown this week. There's no SmackDown Slam Down this week. This is us coming to you, talking about SummerSlam, talking about last night. Garrett, why don't you take the broom out and do a little bit of cleanup here and put all that out there before we go ham into the results and the reverberations of the PLE from this past weekend.
Did you say something?
Absolutely. So last week we were telling everybody to watch out for episode 8 of UWE Ultimate, and now it has launched. And if you watched it, you should have watched it, because there you will see that there is a brand new Wrestle Fandom heavyweight champion. That's right, Brutal Bob Evans showed up there. He did a seminar. He showed everyone what to do. He's doing a seminar next time. If you want to learn from our champion, you want to learn from a great, go there, sign up, and do it. He comes in, he faces Ziwu, and he takes it. He is now our champ. It's going to be a cool run. So go on YouTube.
What did you say he bought off of Temu?
What?
You said he bought something off of Temu?
No, I said he beat Ziwu.
Oh, it sounded like you said you bought him off of Temu. And like, isn't Bob Evans isn't that like the frozen food stuff I can get at the grocery store?
That it's a similar name, but I don't think you'd want to eat the ones that if this guy made them. This is Brutal Bob Evans. Brutal Bob. You don't want to eat that.
He's got to watch out though. You know, fucking with Ziwu. You're fucking with Mr. Blaze Haram as well.
Yeah.
Joe's
together they're Black Dragon, man. It could possibly get ugly. And then too, while I was there, I mean, you can watch the episode, you see all the stuff that we do there, but man, we had an issue. Right there. Yeah, that's not the same guy.
Okay. Just making sure.
So,
I knew it.
As you've seen in the comments, the stompers are they're kind of relentless. I don't know what's going on with them.
I can tell you what's going on with them. they're missing some key DNA elements, and I think they suffer from inbreeding. Just saying.
That is most likely true. Yes.
There's no most likely true about it, Garrett. Like they are obviously they're very similar to those things from The Hills Have Eyes. Like these guys don't know if they're brothers, if they're cousins. Like they're probably other uncle, cousin, sister fuckers for all.
Yeah, it's they're called the Stomper brothers, but they call each other cousin. It's really really weird. I don't get it.
So you want me to you want me to play this?
Yeah. Show everybody what happened. It's just an extension.
Guys, don't worry. This isn't a bad Hills Have Eyes knockoff wannabe parody porno either. This is an actual conversation, okay?
I'm out. I don't want to. Nope, I'm done. See you.
They're here at Wrestle Fandom Radio, and I have the Stompers with me. Guys, you're finally on the show. I got you. So how's it going?
Mr. John Blaine, it's a very big honor to be here on the Around the Ropes podcast.
Thank you again. He looks much better. He looks cuter.
Got cuter and taller and button shirts and hair.
Guys. Wrestle Fandom Radio.
How's that?
I'm Garrett.
John, what?
You tune in every week.
Shut
I
up,
see you
John.
guys in the feed.
John, stop it. Stop with that baloney stuff. This is the Around the Ropes podcast. I'm Frankie. This is Scoot. And we're around here stomping people out on the Around the Ropes podcast. You beautiful people have a very good day. Have a good one, John. Tell Ryan I said hey.
Inbred.
See what I mean?
Wow.
They didn't even know where they were. It's written on there. I said the name in the beginning. I'm like a foot taller than John Blaine. I mean, I like the guy. He's a nice guy. He's great.
Blaine.
But,
I thought they kept saying John Wayne, and I'm like,
yeah, I was super confused about that.
John. No, what about you, John Blaine from Around the Ropes podcast? Not great guy, nice guy. I look nothing like him. I'm like, a foot taller than him. It's just. I don't know what to do with
He
that.
He definitely
man.
does not have the illegitimate son of Michael Cole look on his face like some.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
That's a look that you possess on your own, but you crush it. Like Yas Queen, you fucking crush it, Garrett. Okay, yeah, dude. Like I swear to God, like you might want to like go get one of those 23andMe tests and see if like you and. I love your father. He did a great job raising you and everything. But
no, I look exactly like my father. So maybe
I don't know.
Maybe
your mother might have a fetish for WWE.
There's more of a chance of him being an uncle than being my dad. So
okay. But speaking on
let's go with that.
Dumbasses, like I don't see why you're wasting your oxygen on trying to converse with these fucking, and yes, I'm about to say this live on YouTube, imbeciles, because that is the word of the day, and it's imbecile. And
that's an old word.
It takes me back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Shredder yelling at Rocksteady and Bebop for doing their weekly.
You mean Uncle Phil yelling at them?
Yeah.
When he yelled at Will when I was watching it later on in years, I'm like, and then I was watching fucking Ninja Turtles, and I'm like,
dude, he would yell at Will. I would go up to my room and close the door, and my mom would come and be like, what's going on, buddy? And I was like, oh, well, I'm grounded now. Uncle Phil yelled at me. That's how scary it was. So,
he's a scary, gentle dude.
All right. So, before we go into the meat and potatoes for this week, where is it?
We got meat and potatoes too.
We're gonna have a little word.
I want food. What the fuck?
We're gonna have a little word from our sponsors. Sponsor.
Have you ever found yourself in the need for?
I don't know.
Have you ever found yourself in the need for some screen printing? What about some vinyl work? Well, we have the spot for you. Seasonal Sports, 215 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. Has all your needs. Go see Fred at Seasonal Sports.
I usually hate the sound of my own voice, but right now, after listening to that this week, the sound of my own voice makes me want to touch myself in a way that's not masturbation.
That's ear porn, man. Right there. It's usually how I feel about listening to anything Todd narrates, but
you did
really well there.
Like, I figured out why me and Todd have the relationship we do, and it's because my prostate is in tune with the vibrational frequency that his voice gives out. So anytime Todd speaks, it's like my whole entire body is orgasming in such a way that somebody might think I have or seizure disorder. What is it?
Epilepsy.
Epilepsy, yes. So I'm
sorry, I'm just busy
I have
laughing.
epilepsy. Okay.
You've heard of the brown note? I have the O note.
Stop.
Also, they're not a sponsor, but I am wearing a shirt. If you live in Central New York and you enjoy good cannabis,
I'm gonna have to do
go to Joe's Buds. It's good cannabis. It's a good friend of mine from high school, and
I mean,
it's good weed.
One, his name's Joe. Two, it involves God's garnish, and like he doesn't have hair. He's got glasses. He's got a beard. Like, I mean, you shave the sides of that head, and that's a skinny me.
He's also, and it's funny too because he runs a cannabis company here in New York, but in Massachusetts he's a lawyer.
I know, and like as everybody knows, I don't have my legal degree, so like it's like right there.
The duality.
Yeah,
that's wild.
That's wild.
Let's kick off the night with the way they kicked it off, and it starts off with Mommy versus everybody's favorite little minx, Liv Morgan, and
we called it.
But like, not even the match itself. Like, and I think because of what happened in the storyline, this is getting overlooked. But like, this was easily like the second best match of the night. Like, they brought it.
Yeah.
And because she's doing so good with the promo stuff, I tend to forget how athletic Liv Morgan really fucking is. And like, dude, it's like, and I hate to say this, but it's like Alexa Bliss 2.0. Like, that's so much of her style. Like, that's what it reminds me of. And dude, Mommy's mommy. Like, she's gonna give you a banger. But we did call it last week. You had, and this is, I think, the first time, an example of something that I can't think. I think it's like a first time for WWE. This is the first time I've seen somebody heel turn more heel. Like, usually it's going one way or the other. Now, Dom said, hold my beer, give me a shovel. I'm digging deeper down. And like, for him, so now as this progresses, like, I'm curious. Like, I'm even more invested. I'm gonna be like, so how long has this been going on? Does this go back to when, spoilers, Finn grabbed the hotel key card? Like, what? Like, does it go back even farther than that? Because Rhea looks, and like, go ahead, Todd.
I don't know if I sent it to you guys or if I just saw it or maybe somebody sent it. I don't remember. Shit just did. But it was a clip from before Finn joined the Judgment Day, and they were like going to attack Liv, and Finn came out and saved Liv from the Judgment Day.
Yes.
So that's going back decent. That's going back pretty far. If it was before he was.
That goes back to over a year easily.
Yeah.
And so like And then I guess we'll jump ahead because it's kind of relevant. Finn turns on Damian.
I had one thing that I wanted to say about the Rhea match. The only thing I didn't like about it was the second time she popped her shoulder back in, like against the turnbuckle. Like the first one was cool against the table because he was like, "Yeah, you're badass," like that should have been it. Doing it again is just kind of like that's just beating a dead horse really quickly because it was like you were
which we don't condone doing. We don't condone beating of dead animals or throwing of dead animals into public parks or anything like that. Like we don't condone anything with the dead animals unless it's putting you on my taco and eating it.
Yes. But that's the only thing I had to say that I just was like the second time was just kind of like, all right, you didn't, it was like Hell in a Cell, Mankind got thrown off once, and then Rikishi got thrown off, and then every time everybody gets thrown off, it's just fucking old hat now. Like you do something kind of magical once, and people react, and and to me, the table thing was a lot more badass than the turnbuckle.
I agree with that
because the turnbuckle is just a fucking pad covering the fucking shit, so you're not, but ramming into the announcer table like that was like, oh shit, what are you? Because at first I'm like, is she trying to hurt herself? Like I don't understand what she's trying, but like, then they explained that she was popping her shoulder back in or whatever. But yeah, that's the only thing. Sorry, I just wanted other than that match was awesome. But that just one little thing was like, it could have done without. So continue on to Finn screwing people.
So then we'll fast forward to the second to last match of the night, Gunther versus Damian Priest, and I go back to, and I'm gonna keep co-signing what I'm saying, like every single week. Match was good. Like it was a decent match. It's not like they botched. Damian did much better on this PLE, not botching things than the last one. But I don't care. I care that Finn paid Damian back, and now it seems like this has been going on for over a year now. Finn's been plotting to betray Damian. But I don't care that Gunther's champ. I don't care that Damian lost the title. We'll even go even further to last night. It was announced that Rhea and Damian are now out of Judgment Day. JD McDonough and Liv Morgan are now officially part. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm making wishes at 11:11. I'm blowing out dandelions, but let Carlito get in. I hope for him that he officially is part of the freaking Judgment Day, because that's all that little man
was there.
He pretty much
that's all he wants, and he deserves it. Goddammit. If that's what he wants to be a part of, let him do it.
So my question for you guys is: do you like the name of the new Priest Rhea connection?
What are they calling it?
The Terror Twins.
That's awful.
That's what they were referred to, I think, on commentary, and I saw it somewhere else too.
They had been calling themselves that earlier when they were the only champs in the Judgment Day. They had already been saying that, but now, now that they're both there and they're both out there. I guess
generally too, like when you start hearing commentary, which was confusing. We'll talk about when we get to the Wyatt 6. I'm confused on something. But generally, when you start hearing them say it, they're obviously trying to put it into motion. Hey, this is what their name is going to be. So say it if you.
My brother-in-law Brian is in chat.
Brian.
And he says the sound of my voice sucks.
Wow. Morgan is trash.
Morgan is trash.
No.
And
Brian, who do you like? Who do you like, Brian?
Doesn't look like he's on there anymore. He's not showing up live.
I gotta know.
But maybe he'll hop back in and he'll let us know. But like I care about half of the storyline with this, and I don't care about Priest losing the title. Everything. I don't care that he's going to play into the promo from last night. I don't care he's from the streets. I'm not like it. Just he falls very, very flat. Like he is just not charismatic to me, and I hate to bash it because I'm that person who tries to find the best in like everything, and it falls flat.
I feel the babyface is going to be better for him. I feel like he is more, I don't know. I feel like he's just one of those people that is probably just a genuinely nice dude, and it may be hard for him to be like a fucking heel, and it just might come more naturally to be like a babyface for him. Like, I didn't mind him. Like, I've gotten used to him, so like I've enjoyed him more. I'd rather him still have the title and have him go against like Finn or something like that, because that would make more fucking sense, like, and be better. Finn deserves the fucking shit since he got screwed out of it, with Seth. But to see like him and Finn go at it for a title, like, and Finn actually win it from him, to me would have been much better. Like, Gunther just doesn't, he's not to that point where he fucking deserves it yet. Like, he had the Intercontinental Championship for fucking however long, like, fine, but it was not his time yet. Like, Damien should have kept that shit, and then, like, Survivor Series or some shit, like, gone against Finn and lost it to Finn. Because then, because you could set up a whole thing with Finn getting this big, huge ego, and him do it, going whatever, with Judgment Day. What I was hoping he was going to say last night, when he was like, who will whatever you, I was like, oh, please say the demon. Like, please fucking say the demon.
And I agree with that. And like the thing is,
I'm like, fuck.
I feel like they think this, like that part of the storyline is big enough where it doesn't need the belt ingredient part of it, but it's not. Like, if that was for the belt, I kind of would be like, all right, this is starting to get interesting. But it's for exactly like, and that I don't know. Yeah. All right, then. Now I do have to say that every one of these matches were awesome. Like, there wasn't a bad match. They're like the championship. There's matches I didn't give a fuck about, but they were all like good. Like, we all knew Braun was going to beat Sammy, and my only issue with this whole match was after the match we just had with the two of them, I thought they would have Sammy put up more of a fight.
I read that they had to cut time. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I read the same thing. And like that's fine. I just feel like you've spent all this time creating that David versus Goliath dynamic between between the two of them. You got Braun Breaker, who's just crushing everybody, but Sammy was the dude to beat him. And now you kind of, to me, diminished that.
Right. What I think they should have done, especially if they had to cut time, is they should have had Sammy come out, or like Sammy's, or because he's a champion, comes out second. But then as he's celebrating coming down, have him get speared, and have him get speared like 2 or 3 times before he even gets in the ring. And then he gets in the ring, and then he demolishes him more, and then you still kind of keep Sammy big, but he got jumped right before the match, and then he refused to give up because he's Sammy's. They could have it could have been a squash without technically being a squash.
Now, with all that being said, I'm expecting to get some bangers for probably the next year from Braun Breaker, because they are going to set him up. It's going to be almost like, I feel like it's going to be like Cena was when he had the U.S. title, and every week it's going to be somebody trying to get that ICW champion, not ICW, Intercontinental Championship from Braun Breaker. So we're gonna see that John Cena Braun Breaker match at some point in 2025. Like, we're gonna see these great matches because they've set him up to be this electric Sami Zayn unstoppable force. And
Right.
I really look forward to what's going to come from that match than the actual match itself. And then, we had, LA, Knight, become, the U.S. title holder. Get fucked. LA Knight has a belt, guys.
Depending on if it was rumor or not, he was not supposed to get that belt. I don't know if there was something I read that originally Logan Paul was supposed to whatever it, but because of that tweet he put out about that woman boxer, which was very negative, they made a last minute decision and they're like, nope. And because I also heard that when WWE PR reached out to him about that tweet, that he like flipped on them.
Yes.
So they're just again, I don't know how true it is, but I read that there was a possibility that he was supposed to keep it because of that whole incident, last minute change. They're like, nope, you're losing it. LA's taking it.
And I
can't believe that was even a possibility.
We're not going to get into the politics about Logan's tweet or whatever, but
I can't even believe that was even the possibility of no.
Dude, the only reason why he was a fucking champion was money. Like, he was paying so much money with Prime and all that shit. It's the only reason why that dude was a champion since fucking November. There was I don't give a shit, like, it was absolutely all fucking money. That dude should never have been a champion that long.
And I feel like you are going to see LA Knight get even more over, and he's going to end up being the one to beat Gunther. He's gonna get a U.S. title run, and it's gonna be litty in this fucking bitty. You are going to have LA Knight, John Cena. You're going to have LA Knight and fucking whoever, and he's going to pop that roof off the top of your arena, and there ain't gonna be nothing but space, baby, because this guy is a fucking rocket, and he's going to the moon. The moon, Alice. The fucking
I just hope Logan's out of the fucking picture. Like, and I hope it doesn't like rehash it to like, all right, well, now it blah blah blah. It's you versus Logan Paul in a prime truck window smashing match or some shit, like.
Well, I think they're gonna kind of give Logan Paul a break for a minute to let all this Olympic shit die down. But one, he was fucking great in the match. And
he just
that top rope backflip, dude.
Wow. He posted something today, and it was this whole legal court document that he was pressing charges on LA Knight for stealing the Prime truck. Like, he's leaning into the kayfabe so deep, and I love that. Like, that sense, the extra sense of reality there is
See, what he should have done, though, to just add a little more to it, to make it just seem a little more real, was to put LA Knight's real name in there.
He did.
Like, all I saw in that thing was LA Knight. I didn't see his actual
name.
It
said whatever his real name, a.k.a. LA Knight.
Oh, because in the whole I think in the whole thing, he just called him, it was just LA Knight throughout. Like,
no, it says his real name right going through. So I think we're going to get a pause from LA Knight. I'm down with it. Then we had Nia Jax versus Bayley. And all I have to fucking say, and I don't care if it was set up from the top rope, Bayley walked Nia to the middle of the ring and jackknife power bombed her. And holy shit. We knew Bayley did her squats. We've known that for a very, very long time. But those legs held up Nia, and Nia is not a small woman, and that's not like me trying to be mean or whatever. She is a fucking animal. And Bailey, like that alone, I've always had respect for Bailey. I love Bailey, but now I'm like, Bailey, it's high five now. It's not fist bump. It's high fucking five.
Bailey's at the top of her game for sure.
It was awesome.
I'm just not a fan of Nia. I don't think she hasn't even been back in the company in a fucking year, and she got that. Like, that's meh.
No, I think that was all a long time coming. You know, she should have been up more to the front. You know, back prior. You know, it's the same way that I think she got the same type of mistreatment that Braun Strowman got when it was obvious this person should have been on top at certain points, and then they were just denied it. And you know, that's just how. Same thing.
I just think it would have been a million times better if they were fucking celebrating and Tiffany just took her out with the fucking briefcase and fucking
that would have been hilarious.
Like, and just set up like a huge thing between those two. Like, that would have been fucking the smart way, in my opinion.
That's what I was expecting. That's exactly what I was expecting, was for Tiff to hit her right then and there, cash in right there, and then Nia's got a 2-minute long reign. And honestly, that's what I was hoping for. But now we're gonna see the slow burn between the friendship fall apart, and then it'll.
Or if they're smart, they won't do that. Keep them super tight. Don't see it coming. Rollins at fucking, WrestleMania, don't see it coming. So if there's never a glimpse of Tiffany ever, never once looking at the brief, anything, and then out of fucking nowhere, she just fucking, and not even have her run down, have her be at the fucking ringside, just with her, whatever, and then just fucking, when she's down and out, just fucking boom, cash it in and shit like that, because no one would see it coming, especially if they did keep them tight and didn't fucking hint towards any kind of falling out, and it was just them being best friends, and all of a sudden that would be fucking the best way to go. It would just make for more entertaining shit, because then I could get behind that storyline more, because now it's you were tight, you fucked her over hard, blah, blah, blah. Now you really got that good fucking back and forth going.
So then we had, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how this match was. I had an idea how it was going to end. I didn't know, honestly, I expected Punk to get hurt again. I truly.
So did I.
That's not even trying to be funny. I get worried about that now with my man Phil, best in the world. It was a great match, and everything played out pretty much the way we thought it was going to, but it worked so good. And then we had last night with Raw, that the triple threat, they've all but announced it. You know what I mean? And I'm excited about this. Even though it's because a belt is well, no, because they took the belt aspect out, but it's turned into this who we all hate each other. We're all there's history between all three of us all over the place, and I'm totally behind it. But speaking of Seth, before I forgot, we haven't had exact clarification on it, and it hasn't been 100% official. But it appears the man no more, that Becky Lynch has possibly retired. And
smart. Get out before you can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, no.
Because obviously she's probably had the veterans be like, you know what? You're a mother now. You've made whatever. You've done a good run. Don't end up like this. Don't end up where you can fucking barely move. Don't whatever. You have a small child. You have a lot. Seth is Seth, he'll just be that crazy bastard. But for her, there's probably just a lot of the fucking veterans. Like, if you have that opportunity and to go on good terms, possibly coming back if you want to, fucking do it. And I don't blame her. Like that's
Right.
doesn't take more than one wrong fucking move to, whatever.
And I'll be honest with you, I see Seth in the next 2 years getting one more decent championship run, and then you'll see him be like that Cena that'll work 3 months a year kind of thing. You know what I mean? He'll work the road to WrestleMania every year, and that'll be about it. Yeah. And I get it. I completely understand it. It just nobody was talking about that when her contract went out. It was, where is she going to sign? How long is her break going to be? She's 2 years younger than me. I wouldn't have been oh, Becky Lynch is retiring, but it all makes sense. And she's my last kicker. You know what I mean? I love Becky from the jump, and she's had
she's
an
awesome.
amazing career. But going back to the three of them, you want to say something.
But so this, Joe, also harkens back to the one thing you said right when the whole Paul Levesque era thing started, was now also last night Bronson Reed just came out of nowhere and assaulted Seth Rollins, right? Now it isn't even it was Punk and Drew, and then Seth kind of slowly crept into that, but then now it's also is Bronson gonna go into that as well, or is it just gonna be Seth and Bronson? But like you said, it's not just okay, this person and this person for a while, and then this person. It's spider webbing all the time to different people, and it is great, and I love seeing just the differences in the storytelling, and it's just everything isn't one direction, it's many all at the same time.
I enjoyed, now after I had read it and seen it and whatever, I think we talked about it, but that whole, not whole thing, but the fucking outfits were a tribute to Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels shit. But even the shot, the one move where I think in the match with Bret and all of them, Bret spit in Shawn Michaels' face, and then Shawn went to hit him with a chair, but hit the Undertaker. Obviously, this time he didn't fucking actually hit Seth, but it was all some of the same whatever, which is cool. They throw that.
The little homages,
Because it wasn't, you almost were wow, that looks like, it looks like he's almost wearing an Undertaker type coat, or why is Seth, it wasn't right in your face, but it wasn't so even finding out about it, you weren't I still don't see it. It was when I heard about it, I'm oh yeah, okay, yep, exactly. And it's nice when they do that. I like that.
Oh yeah. And so let's go into easily the match of the night, our main event. The match heard around the world this from the jump till the end was just you have Solo Sikoa coming out looking real confident as he comes out, because it's bloodline rules. You can do whatever the hell you want, pegging is on the table, and we have Cody Rhodes. They beat the absolute piss out of each other, and and I love that you had, and it reminded me a lot of the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes title match. You see over the beginning part of that match, Solo's how is he kicking out, and Cody selling that ass kicking, and everything pretty much it happened pretty much the way we said it. And again, that's what we wanted. You had the Tamaloa and Tamatanga both come out, interfere. You had KO and Randy come out and make the save. Then you had that Samoan werewolf. This man has no right being as so freakishly athletic as he is. Like, for him to be hopping up on the ropes like it's flat land, jumping off and getting the air of that he's getting. Like, and let's go. So I don't know if it's a work or not, but Jacob Fatu may have actually done something to his leg, maybe not, because storyline wise, it would make way more sense for him to get hurt right then. And he had this awesome spot where he jumped at like 40 feet in the air and landed on the table on Cody. And he definitely sold that he had done something to his leg. Now, and I'll get into the ending right now, and then we can get more into specifics. But at that point, you had, like, Solo had Cody in the bag. And then we hear the OTC, his music, the original tribal chief, his music comes on. And you see him start walking out. And then he realizes it's a 2-mile path to the ring. And he gets his jog on.
I hate long entrances. I hate them.
And imagine that was Taker. It would take him like a half hour.
Doing them in like NFL stadiums, you know what I mean? And you have Roman, I personally think, deliver his best Superman punch ever.
Ever. It was the best one ever.
You have Cody on the ground, Roman jumps up, Solo's off to his left, and like it's almost like somebody took Roman and turned his body midair. And he delivers a Superman punch and takes Solo out. All that shit Solo's been saying the last few weeks. He said, boom! And you had the look of shock on Cody's face. The utter bewilderment of what just happened. He sold the absolute shit out of it. And
like, what is happening? He's just like, what is happening?
Up, hits him with the crossroads. We get our 1, 2, 3. And it sets up what we've been talking about for weeks now. Bloodline OG versus Bloodline 2.0.
And I think they kind of spoiled that in the like immediate after show because they're like, oh no, Bloodline Civil War, da da da. And then like it was almost like they were like, oh shit, should have said that. Like kind of deal, like just you could hear it's like they kind of like gave it away. Like they were probably gonna wait a little bit before they were like.
Well, there's a lot of fans out there that are like the Stomper brothers who don't pick up on these kind of things. So sometimes they have to just say it so people like the Stompers. And Brian also said, as far as what? And he said LA Knight is trash. Brian just seems like he's an angry wrestling fan.
I at this point, I think he's just razzing us. I don't even know if he watches wrestling. Like, then who do you like?
No, he's been to so many of the pay-per-views up front. He has a collection of those chairs, and they're all from pay-per-views he's been to. Like there was, I'd have to ask him. One of the pay-per-views, he was in Vegas for work, and he was at the bottom. It'll be on our right side corner of the entrance ramp. So every time he's coming down, like somebody's coming down, you see Brian standing right there. And at one point, I text him like as somebody's going to come out, and I see him look at his phone as the person's walking down past him. Brian definitely watches. Brian just he seems a little like turned into one of those cynical wrestling fans that. They say they like wrestling, they watch wrestling, but they're very angry at wrestling.
They just want to go back to 1998.
I'm not sure like where he wants to go with it.
Speaking
But,
of angry wrestling people, apparently a lot of people are really pissed off that McAfee and company are like a DLC or whatever for 2K, WWE 2K. It's
So
like,
don't buy it.
well, you know, but it's just fucking people are just mad about it. Like they're just fucking.
I was like, okay, so just don't buy it. Like
See, that's what most normal people would do. But then there's people in the world that have to be mad about stuff that is really pointless to be mad about.
so
But yeah, there's a ton of people that are.
Speaking of Bloodline stuff, how do you guys feel about DIY losing the titles to them? Because I think that's why I think that's trash. Completely unnecessary.
I definitely wanted to see them hold it longer, but again, it kind of legitimizes the new bloodline. It makes them like I understand from a story point, and this would be like when you benefited when you had the Raw Tag Team Champions and SmackDown Tag Team Champions. This is one of those times, very, very few times, where you would have benefited having like two separate titles because you could have kept it on there. But I get them keeping on it. You know, it legitimizes it. Like they actually said it in commentary that like, you know, the Bloodline's looking to add more gold to them. And it kind of mirrors when the Bloodline had all the belts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it reestablishes this new version of it as that same kind of unstoppable force. I just think that in general, they don't know what the fuck they're doing with the tag team division.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Because like you really don't have like for like the longest time you had like the New Day like sat at the top of that. The Usos sat at the top of that. You had these tag teams that were, you know, you had fucking the Hurt Business. You had these guys that were up there, and right now you don't have a tag team that is necessarily over in that way. So you're like kind of pushing the belt off to all these different people, and like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I kind of think that's where they're at. It's almost like they're like kind of like in a holding pattern with the tag belts. But I am so excited about SmackDown this week to see what OTC has to say. Like, does he bring the wise man with him? Like, because you're going to
that would
start.
have made it a little bit better on Saturday if in the middle of this match they're both laying in the fucking mat, and then you just hear Heyman. You know, that's the classic, ladies and gentlemen. You know, da da da. And I have with me your original tribal chief, and then he comes out. Like, I think that would have like between Heyman coming back and Roman, like.
And I think that's how, like, in my opinion, that's how they're going to open SmackDown with Paul doing that. And I can see it in my head already. Oh, you have to. You like.
I think it's to be like the last half hour.
No, I think it's because that's how you ended SummerSlam. You ended SummerSlam with Roman knocking out like a Solo. Like that's how you got to boom. Next thing, SmackDown. Like that's how you open it up. But I have this image in my head, and I know we're gonna see it. I just don't know. I don't think it'll be right away. But you're gonna see Solo laid out on the mat from a Superman punch, and you're just gonna have Paul looking down on him and smiling. Like that's an image I cannot wait to see. And they are cooking with gas right now. Like and I know this whole thing, the lead up was a little bit longer, and I'm pretty sure it's because of Roman's dad passing away. But honestly, very much so like the Wyatt Six, which we'll let Todd get into that in a minute. You know, like we bitched that it was taking so long, but then when we hit that climax, dude, like it's like, oh, you know what? That was worth the wait because. And we all know about my personal feelings about Roman Reigns. Bro, when he came out, I was stoked. I was like, yes, we are going to see him lay Solo out. He laid Solo out. And I'm like, yes. Get my ones up. Get my ones up. Let's go, Daddy Roman.
It was so good. And it cements that thing that we'd been speaking about. The thing that I kept bringing up is that you had this face turn happen by complete absence. And then he comes back, and one night he does 2 moves. He doesn't say a word. He does 2 moves, and he cements himself now as quite possibly a bigger face than even the champion, who's the face that beat him months ago.
Right.
You know, it's insanity what you can do with the storytelling that even the fans help you along with. It's so crazy.
Well,
It's
you got Deuce McMahon sitting home right now being like, motherfucker, I spent 15 years trying to turn this dude face, and they wanted nothing to do with it. And my piece of shit son-in-law's got the company for 6 months, and this guy hasn't even been wrestling for 4.5 of it, and he's over more now than when I like handed him the belt and it was like, this is your new Superman, and nobody wanted to do with it. Like, he definitely Saturday night found somebody and pooped on him. He was very upset.
I see, and I was thinking about that today at work for whatever random reason, probably because I just was.
Vince pooping on people?
No,
think about that?
I wonder. I wonder if Vince like watches or just talks to people, or is he just out of it all completely? Just said like, hey, fuck this shit. Like, I don't want anything ever to do with, like.
There's no way he doesn't watch it. It was his entire life.
It's
no way.
He seems like an angry old man.
Well, honestly, it's one of 2 things, and it's like with any breakup. Either you're like, yeah, I saw that bitch did this. Oh, she's talking. She went out here, and you're very vocal and very public with, yeah, I'm still keeping tabs on that motherfucker. Or somebody's like, oh, Vince, did you see it? No, man, I don't care. I don't want to hear nothing about it. But when he goes out home at night, he's on Facebook on a fucking burner account looking at all the shit and everything else. He's watching. It's just whether or not he's public about his watching or not. Because there's no way you don't watch. Like, this man has spent literally 3/4 of his life with blood, sweat, tears, shit, urine in this company. And he needs to see where it's going. And I'm being dead ass when I'm like, he probably is like, motherfucker. Like, now he's a face. Not like, naturally happened. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, you saw, like, and this is what I love about wrestling. This is what I love about when it's done right. Cody and Roman in a 3-second stare told you everything you needed to know. Told you Roman's not done with you, Cody, but he's got something more important than that fucking championship to deal with first. It showed, hey, I'm not that scumbag I was 4 months ago that would just take advantage of anything and just like whoop on you or anything. No. This was a humble tribal chief who had respect for the enemy that defeated him and who has enough whatever warped sense of honor that I need to handle this young buck here and put him back in his fucking place. And then in a couple months, we are going to get the flip of that when you have The Rock looking at Roman Reigns and be like, listen, young buck, it's going to be that generational. And it like they are leading up to the epic. It's like how every summer growing up, comics would always do the big crossover event. You had your Age of Apocalypse, your Onslaught, like all like you are setting up for that big crossover. You are setting up, hey, like we have the current generation, the generation that's been holding shit down for the last 15 years, and that original generation that sent WWE from, hey, I'm getting my ass kicked by this fucking racist Southern company to the elite status. Now, they're not all elite, but they're elite, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm stoked. And with that being said, Todifer, let us know about the.
Well, first I have a question because I don't know who this is. It's not about the Wyatt Six. I know it's kind of on the board, but who the fuck is Odyssey Jones?
He's from NXT.
Is he?
He was. He was. Yeah.
It should be a T-shirt. Who the F is Odyssey Jones?
So,
But I don't know if he's
reason-
taking New Day or what. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, because it's funny because also when they were talking about the New Day, they were just like talking about Xavier and Kofi. Like Big E didn't exist or wasn't with the company. You know what I mean? Like they never like threw his name out there when chatting about New Day. Anyway, so I think all of us expected a Wyatt Six match at SummerSlam, but it happened on Raw for the main reason of it was 11 years ago in the same arena to the day that the Wyatt family debuted. So yeah, it was, a lot of great tributes, a lot of great homages. I personally, I didn't think they'd go as far as, Uncle Howdy sitting in the rocking chair. I just kind of thought it was there as just like a symbol of Bray, whatever. So like that was super cool. The match was really good. They it wasn't a like complete squash match, which was nice because you almost like wonder, oh, here's the new faction that everybody's been really enamored with. So they're just going to destroy these motherfuckers. But it was a great match. I mean, they all are super talented. I liked how commentating was going back and forth between calling them their names and then like the characters. They referred to Gacy a couple times, him and as like Huskus. So it was like neat to kind of like have that, but not have it as like a staple. Like, oh, it's just Huskus. Oh, it's just whatever. But no, the match is great. Rowan, he's fucking awesome. That Brody Lee tribute was amazing. And no, that whole match was great. It was just a very it was a Wyatt vibe, with him sitting in that chair and shit. And it was just, I'm glad they won. I figured they would anyway, but it's nice to finally see it in motion now and to see everything and to see it go.
I think they all but confirm that Bray is supposed to be that sixth member with the lantern in the chair. That whole thing. I thought it was great, and like Todd said, the homages, the tributes to Bray and to Brody, it definitely felt, and it has this whole time, but it definitely solidified it for me as a continuation. It's definitely the legacy than, oh, we're just going to put together a new Wyatt Six or, a new Wyatt family, a new whatever to try to make bank off of it. You could tell there was something very, very deep and emotional behind the whole creativity with it.
And it was weird too, because Cole said something, when Rowan fucking did the Brody Lee shit on the outside. Cole was like, oh, that was a great tribute. And it almost sounded like he was going to say to Brody Lee or whoever, but he just stopped. And it's
well, he probably, and I know I do it too. He probably was going to say Brody Lee and then realize I should be saying, fuck, what was his name? And stopped and not remembering Luke Harper. Yeah. Because you never hear him now even referred to as Luke Harper anymore. It's always Brody Lee. And
I think even if he said Brody Lee, people would be like, oh yeah, because it was after AEW, and then when he passed, it was just kind of one of those things where the Luke Harper thing just kind of got dropped from the picture, and it was just Brody Lee. So any wrestling fan, you say that, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, Brody Lee. So here's the one thing I was confused on. So last week, I think they referred to Nikki Cross as Sister Abigail,
right?
This week they referred to her as Abby the Witch or Abigail the Witch.
Abby the Witch. Yeah.
Same.
It's the same. It's the same thing. It's like how, Huskus was like also Husky, whatever his name is. Like
Husky
it's the
Harris.
same. Yes, like Sister Abigail and Abby the Witch are the same character. Like because Abby the Witch, the puppet, was just the puppet embodiment of Sister Abigail.
Right.
And yeah, so like Sister Abigail and Abby the Witch are the same thing.
But it's funny because I don't think I've heard. Well, I don't know if they've referred to her as Nikki Cross. Like,
Yeah.
In the first night when they first came out, I think
right.
it was either the first night or the second week when they actually came out. I remember hearing it once, Nikki Cross, but ever since it's been either Abby the Witch or Sister Abigail.
So no, hopefully.
I thought I heard it last night.
Maybe I don't remember. But no, it was nice. It was. I don't know. I think it took not too long for them to do the whole thing. Like if they had gone like another month, then it would have been overkill, and I think people would have lost it.
Yeah, I think that they've gotten the timing down with them, where it's like, oh, we're going to do 2 weeks of them doing something, then fight, and I think you're going to see kind of that pattern in the future, which I'm okay with. I don't need to see them fight every week. I'm okay with some weeks just having a quick 2-minute segment with them. I'm down for all that because there's a lot of talent right now. And even though we might not be cooking with a turbocharge and nitrous right now, we're definitely starting to hit on all cylinders. Like we're hitting that nice where everything I kind of at least care about a little bit. Where before there was a lot of shit where I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I watching it? Like,
well,
this past week.
That's the thing with SmackDown. I haven't, up until like what's gone on at SummerSlam, like I haven't had the want to watch it really. It's just been a stale kind of same old shit. Whereas like Raw, I'm like excited to watch Raw. Like I'm excited to see the shit. But like now that things have changed and whatever SummerSlam, like hopefully SmackDown picks up a little more excitement to it because the past couple of weeks I'm just like
SummerSlam's the first card in a long time that I actually wanted at least a little bit see every single one of those matches. Like there's usually 2 or 3 matches on a card where I'm kind of like, all right, that's where I'm going to make the food, that's where I'm going to poop, that's where I'm like where this card I was like I have to watch all of this.
The one I really didn't watch, honestly, was like the Sammy one because I knew it was going to happen and it was just not a meh. I don't know. I feel like Sammy deserves better and more than just this because what's going to happen with Braun, and I think Garrett may have said the magic word earlier, is Goldberg.
Yeah.
He's just kind of, and I'm sorry, but the spear is fucking old. Like it's old. Everybody does it. Like it's not, when like Edge did it or, like 1 or 2 people did it. Like it was cool. Now
Hell is old this time.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, yeah.
It's like get a new move. It's just, then they're like, he can run the ropes at da. It's like, cool. And like, so
we've been on for an hour now, guys. I think we're gonna wrap up. You finish getting ready for work and such. Mondays, the Todd and Joe morning show. This past week we went in the past, and
which is a mind fuck for me that I didn't tell you shit and you wore a Back to the Future shirt.
I know that was pretty cool. Tuesdays live. Me, Garrett, Todd, and not Drew some weeks, apparently, because he's a good person, a good dad. Wednesdays, Masterpiece Movie Theater. What do we got this week, Garrett?
So I had a week gap there, so tomorrow airing is The Boy Who Could Fly. And then
Garrett's got his wings out. He's flapping them, and he's flying through your skies. And then I haven't done it in like a month now. The Weekly Bugle. There's a lot to talk about. Just my days off, and I've been super busy. And then I'm trying to schedule some Stepping Stones episode to put those back out in the universe. Come on. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell Garrett's mom, whoever you got to tell. Like,
you don't have to tell Joe's mom. Joe's mom should already have her own show on here. So,
bro, I want her to. I want her to. Later, Gators.
Peace, y'all.